Welcome students, we have been given this question x negative 1 over x raised to the power of 1 over 2 added with 1 negative 1 over x raised to the power 1 over 2 is equal to x, and we are expected to find the value of x. So foremost what we would do is we would just take x negative 1 over x raised to the power of 1 over 2 to be equal to some p, and 1 negative 1 over x raised to the power 1 over 2 to be some q. So if I were to take this as 1, then I can rewrite 1 to be as p positive q is equal to x. So this is my 2. Now I'm going to be multiplying 2 by p negative q both sides. Now when I do that, I would have p negative q times p positive q is equal to x times p negative q. Now p negative q times p positive q would give me p squared negative q squared is equal to x times of p negative q. Now clearly we have taken p to be equal to x negative 1 over x raised to the power 1 over 2. If I were to square this would mean squaring the right hand side. That in turn would mean the 2 present here would be cancelled with the 2 over there, and that would give me p squared to be equal to x negative 1 over x. Now similarly I've got q to be equal to 1 negative 1 over x raised to the power of 1 over 2. If I square both sides, then that would mean my q squared is equal to the 2 that you see would be cancelled. So that would give me q squared is equal to 1 negative 1 over x. So substituting the value of p squared and q squared, we would have x negative 1 over x followed by a negative sign, and 1 negative 1 over x is equal to x times p negative q. Now rewriting this would give me x negative 1 over x negative 1 positive 1 over x is equal to x times of p negative q. Negative 1 over x positive 1 over x would be cancelled, giving me x negative 1 is equal to x times p negative q. I can push the x down. That would mean I will now have x negative 1 over x is equal to p negative q. I can take this as 3. I already have a 2 there. Now what I'm going to do is I would be adding 2 with 3. So let me write down the 2, which is p positive q is equal to x, and my 3 is p negative q is equal to x negative 1 over x. So clearly you can cancel the q's. P positive p would give me 2p, and over here is going to be x positive x negative 1 over x. Now you can extract the value of p from here. That's what I'm going to do. So for that I would be rewriting this as 2p is equal to x positive. Now there is an algebraic property which states that if I were to have something of this form, a positive b over c, I can rewrite it as a over c positive b over c. So by that I can rewrite this as x over x negative 1 over x. Now the x can be cancelled, giving me 2p is equal to x. I'm going to write it in this fashion: x negative 1 over x and positive 1. Now clearly you know that x negative 1 over x is p squared, so I would rewrite this as p squared positive 1, and on the left I've got 2 times p. So let me use this space here. So I've got a 2p is equal to p squared positive 1. I'm going to rewrite this as p squared positive 1 negative 2p is equal to 0, which is p squared negative 2p positive 1 is equal to 0. This is a quadratic in p, and we can solve it using the quadratic formula. So that would give me p is equal to negative of negative 2 plus or minus root of negative 2 squared negative 4 times a times c divided by 2 times of a. This is positive 2 plus or minus square root of 2 squared is 4. This is going to give me a 4 there divided by 2. This is going to be 2 plus or minus root of 0. That's going to give me 0 divided by 2, which is nothing but 1. So I've got p is equal to 1 twice. Now using p is equal to 1, we will have to extract the value for x. So let us do that. Now if you remember, we have taken the value of p, or in other words, we have assigned x negative 1 over x raised to the power 1 over 2 to be equal to p. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say substituting p is equal to 1 in p equal to x negative 1 over x raised to the power 1 over 2, we get. So what do we get? So this would mean 1 is equal to x times 1 is equal to x negative 1 over x raised to the power of 1 over 2. This is what we've got. Now if I were to square both sides to get rid of this half, we would then arrive at squaring both sides, we get. So what do we get when you square both sides? This is going to give me 1 is equal to x negative 1 over x. Now I need to get rid of this x, so the best way would be LCM. So that would mean x squared negative 1. On the left I got 1. I cross multiply, so that would give me x is equal to x squared negative 1, which can be rewritten as x squared negative x negative 1 is equal to 0. Now this is again a quadratic, so I would be using the formula, quadratic formula. So x is equal to negative of negative 1 plus or minus root of negative 1 squared negative 4 times a is 1 and my c is negative 1 divided by 2. This is equal to 1 plus or minus root of negative 1 squared is 1, negative times negative is positive, that's 4, and this entire thing is divided by 2. So this is equal to 1 plus or minus root of 1 positive 4 gives me 5 divided by 2. So therefore I get my x to be equal to 1 positive root 5 over 2 or 1 negative root 5 over 2. Now clearly this one would fail. Why it would fail? Because of the very fact that we have been given a system of this fashion. Thank you students, enjoy your day.